wildflowers. You belong in a
Hey everyone, how you doing? Waiting for a few more people to join. I'm Jeff from Jeff Never Had Job Security. Jeff was never healthy.
You belong somewhere you feel free.
You know, I'm a little ignorant when it comes to TikTok once in a while because, I get alerts every day. Hey, so-and-so invites you to watch their live. Of course, I'm not thinking that when I go live, everyone gets those alerts about me inviting them to watch my live. I thought that was kind of fun. A lot to talk about tonight, a real lot to talk about. We got my diagnosis of my bite.
Go find a lover.
Trip to Florida. Tomorrow morning, we're actually evicting somebody where we actually have to have the sheriff go there with the police and escort him out of the building. So that's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that.
You belong in that home by and by. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to me, far away from your trouble and worry.
Anyway, I guess I'll start if everyone's on. So my name is Jeff from Jeff Never Had Job Security. That's my name here on TikTok and on YouTube, my YouTube channel. Okay, so first question right out of the box. How do you suggest I find my first multifamily property? It is extremely difficult right now to find a multifamily property. I can't find one. You can look in the MLS, okay? The MLS, a multiple listing service, usually has me call a real estate agent, have the real estate agent say the real estate agent, look for me, I'm looking to buy a property, have them look for you, let them do the work. They have more resources than you have. You can look online, even on sometimes Craigslist, they have property for sale. People list property for sale by owner, multifamilies. But I would say if it's your first one, call a real estate agent, let them, do the work for you. Start building a relationship with a real estate agent. That's probably the best way to start, So anyway, I don't know if anybody saw my TikToks that I threw up there earlier today. Yeah. Here's one here. Yeah. You ever want to travel and not deal with the BS? Time is ticking, retire. So that's true. So time is ticking. I'm 57. I do have a 5-year plan. My retirement, I'm going to retire by the time I'm 62. Though, I've been ill for the last 3 weeks. I've had this back pain and this leg pain. So 2 weeks ago, I took the week off from going to the office, worked from home here at the office. Of course, my office is a real mess right now because I've been working from home. I just throw things around, depending on what I'm working on at the time. But what happened was I took that week off. Then last week, I was in Florida for the week. Did a little work from Florida. And then, of course, now that I'm sick, legitimately, I'm home this week, homesick. So I am taking a little time off, seeing how the business is run without me there. And this may start me slowing down to answer that question because I have to. Not that I'm an old man, because actually I'm active. Everyone knows I go on roller coasters, I ski. I'm a very active person. I just have these strange problems that keep happening right now to speed bumps, I'll call them, speed bumps. So the deal with that is this, okay? You should leave the evicted person's... No, I don't need to. So the way it works is it's all public record. If the fire department, that's funny, if the fire department, if the news station wants to go there and put it on the news, they can. This has already gone through the court system. This person was evicted through the court system. So it is now public record who this person is, who's getting evicted. So no, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to do live. I'm going to do video. So my office personnel, Heather, Jasmine, my office people, have never seen that part of the process. We talk about it. I've only done This would be the second one in 30 years I've ever done where we actually go there with the constable, the sheriff, the moving company, and move the people out of the home. It's only our second one. So I told them today at the office, you guys want to come and see what happens. Come and watch what happens so you know the consequences of what happens when we actually get to the point. Now, throughout the years, I've had over 600 tenants. I have 380 now. I've only had to do this twice. So look at the math, the odds. I've only had to do this twice. The last time was 14 years ago. So we're not talking that we do this a lot. And it takes a lot for us to get to that point. But this person refuses to leave. So that's why, no, yes to pizza. If that person's face is on, it's humiliating, okay? But it all depends on what led us up to this point. This is months of talking to this person. This is this person letting his girlfriend move in there. The girlfriend calling my office staff last week and screaming at them, berating them over the phone, belittling them, okay, humiliating my office people. And yes to pizza, you're saying don't humiliate the tenant. The tenant tomorrow deserves to be humiliated. He deserves to be on the internet. He treated my staff when I was away poorly, okay? He dangerously blockaded the door the other day for the sheriff. The constable could not get in. He actually took pieces of the railing off of the second floor railing, blocked the downstairs door. So think about it. If there was an emergency, the tenants in the building couldn't get out. He blockaded the door so the constable couldn't come in and serve them. That's what we're dealing with here. That's why tomorrow I'm going to use him as an example. You need to do this once in a while to show people that you are black and white, you are by the book. So that's the story with that. Hey, Chicken Bucket, how you doing? How's it going? But anyway, so that's the story with that. So yeah, I have no problem with that. When it gets to this point tomorrow, all bets are off, okay? We've offered him to leave, offered him to move out, offered him time to move, and what did he do? He doubled down. He has the girlfriend move in with him. Hey, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, okay. So that's the problem with that. We're not paying you rent. We're going to live in your place for free. We're going to use your heat, your hot water, your sewer, and by the way, we're not going to pay you, okay? Now, all bets are off at that point. So that's tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see what happens. That's a big one. I had no idea about that. Like I said, the business has been running itself. Andrew's been doing a good job running the business. This afternoon, he told me about it. I've been out because of my knee and my leg, and of course now I have this rash. So I have a rash of problems. So that's the story with that. So that's tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That we're doing the eviction. I came on a little early tonight. I know I usually start around 7:30. It's 7 now, but I came on a little early. But yeah, so that's the story with that. You know, when I went to Florida, sorry my music was too loud, by the way. I didn't mean to have it too loud. I just have something on there. Oh, never mind. That's my father complaining the music's too loud. Well, I don't think I'd ever say turn down your hearing aid, but, anyway.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
No, Siri, I wasn't talking to you.
Okay.
How do you like that one? That's funny. Oh, boy. Yeah, so I hope I get well soon, too. I don't know much about this sickness that I have. It's crazy that I even got this. If anyone doesn't know, I did put the post to TikTok earlier. So I've had this leg pain and this back pain. It's going on 3 weeks now, literally. And it got to the point where I could not sleep at all. I just could not sleep. I'd lay down in bed, I'd toss, I'd turn because my legs would hurt constantly. I'd get up, I would go in the hot tub at 3 a.m. At the beginning, the hot tub helped, then it stopped helping. I was invited to go to Florida. I said, maybe the warm weather will help. I'll use an excuse to go to Florida, but maybe the warm weather will help. So I went down to Florida. The warm weather didn't help. It got worse down there. I went to CVS. They laughed at me. I bought Aleve back rub. I bought patches. I bought pills. I bought ice packs. I bought hot packs. Icy hot. I had a whole menu of stuff, right? Poo-poo platter of stuff. Nothing really helped me. Nothing really worked. The ice pack, I got to say, the numbness, when you use the ice pack, it numbed the pain. It would numb me enough where I could fall asleep. But I would only sleep for like a couple hours because once I got my sleep, I'd wake up. I'm itching because I'm scratching because I have this rash that is now itchy. It wasn't itchy until today, but now it's itchy. One more thing. Every day is something new. So anyway, I tried everything in Florida. Nothing worked. Came home Monday morning, in pain, my leg, my knee, my back, very much pain. Went right to my doctor right away, and he prescribed me some muscle relaxers, which I've been taking, which has been which a little helpful. But he saw that I had a rash on my leg, on the front of my leg. Now, I thought it was sunburn. I thought, oh, maybe I sat in the sun too long. I thought it was sunburn. He goes, you have to have that rash checked. So he goes, right away. So I left his office. I called my dermatologist from the parking lot and said, I got a rash. My doctor just saw it. I need to get it checked. So the dermatologist said, well, we're booking 2 months out. I'm like, great, but I got a rash. And can you see me quicker that? Any cancellations? She goes, all right, next Tuesday. I said, all right, that's fine. So I made an appointment for next Tuesday. So I went home yesterday, taking the muscle relaxers, thinking, okay, I'll go next Tuesday for the rash. But then I went to bed on Monday night. I went to bed. It was Monday. I went to bed Monday night, woke up Tuesday morning. The rash was all over me, my chest all the way down, my legs, my arms, my hands. So I called the dermatologist and said, I know I made an appointment for next week, and I know you squeezed me in, but this rash just spread all over my body. They said, can you come in at 11:30? So I did. I went there yesterday. I did go there yesterday at 11:30, and I was there for a couple hours. They did a lot of tests. They actually did biopsies. They cut skin from both my legs. So they give you a shot to numb it up, right? Which is a little painful itself. Then they numb it. Then they cut you, take your blood, take your skin or whatever they took, sewed it up. I got stitches in both my legs, and then the numbness wore off. And of course, now I got more pain because now I got the pain from where they cut me. I got the pain on my leg, the pain on my back, and I got this rash all over my body. So what they did was they just look at questions. The doctors, it was 3 doctors, very good doctors, extremely good doctors, and they left the room, came back in, and they said, look, we're sending the biopsies out, but we are going to start treating you for Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So they went over what that is, the symptoms of it. I have all the symptoms, and the diagnosis and this and that, and we're going to start treating for that right away. We're calling in the prescription. Go to the CVS right now and get the prescription. Take 2 right away. So that's what I did yesterday. And of course, I had a blood test, urine test, all that stuff yesterday. So that's a whole nother problem. So with it does come fatigue. I've been tired. But listen, here's the problem. I'm tired because I'm not sleeping because of my stupid leg and back pain. So now we're trying to put 2 together. When did I get this Rocky Mountain spotted fever? I guess it's given to you by a tick. Now, and it can incubate 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but I guess my wife just yelled at me. She said it can incubate in 3 days because she's convinced I got that in Florida. She thinks it's different from the leg pain and that I probably got that in Florida. Now, I do remember there was a bug bothering me on Wednesday down there. I don't know if it bit me or not. So I don't know if it bit me or not, but it was bothering me. But anyway, the rash started Sunday morning early. I was just on the front of my leg, and now it's all over me. But I am taking the medication, but it's Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So I either got it before I went to Florida, one of my dogs got a tick outside, or I got it in Florida and incubated in 3 days, and I got it. And it's different than my leg pain and my back pain. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm at work. Lyme disease is not fun. I was talking to my doctor about Lyme disease today. Lyme disease lasts forever. So this Rocky Mountain spotted fever, if you Google it, it's not a pretty fever. It's not a pretty disease, depending on when they caught it. If I did get bit in Florida, then they caught it. Think about it. In time, I got bitten. I was only in Florida for 5-6 days. So I went right to the doctor. So if I got bitten in Florida and they caught it, I feel good about it. If it was something I got before I went to Florida, that means I've had it for a while, and I'm a little nervous about that based on what I see with the prognosis and the long-term effects of it. Hey, Boston, how you doing? Yeah, there are a lot of bugs in Florida. Look, Florida's a nice place to visit. I never want to live there, and I only went there because I had my leg pain and my back pain. Now I got another problem because of Florida. So I can't win. I can't. Jeff never had job security, and Jeff's never going to be healthy ever again. So I don't get it. I don't get it. So the funny thing is, so you read it. So it's called Rocky Mountain spotted fever only because they discovered it in the Rocky Mountains. So I guess you can get it anywhere in the United States. Kind of odd that it would be in Rhode Island. That's why I'm leaning toward maybe my wife's theory. I got bit in Florida, didn't know it. you know, I did fall asleep for a short time around the pool. You know, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so that's my latest tale of woe. Okay, my latest tale of woe is that I got Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and it's ugly. I'd show it to you, but it's ugly. I mean, it's it's not pretty. Let's see. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back from Florida. Oh, Chicken Bucket, did you go get ice cream? I'm glad I have the best ice cream. I did leave the house today for the first time. I drove my son to work. He opened up the ice cream shop in Cranston today. So I brought him over there, and I had a Dell's lemonade, which was kind of refreshing, to be honest with you. Should I cash out some of my properties right now? I'd have to go from 4%. It depends on the profit. I mean, you could cash them off. If you're gonna take that profit and reinvest it and make more money with it. It depends on what your return on investment is now. What are you making on the properties now? People keep telling me, "Hey, Jeff, you should sell out. The property's high, And I think about it. Yeah, I could sell out and then take the cash, but then where am I going to reinvest the cash to make the same profit right now or the same income? So that's where I'm at right now. What would I do with that money? Stick it in the bank for 0.1%, Let's see. Italian boy was bit once. The doctor circled the area to see if the spot grew bigger. Yeah, well, they didn't listen. They didn't circle the area. They actually cut the area out. Like I said, they literally numbed up my legs and cut. So I said to the doctor, so I'm a good patient. I will say I'm a very good patient. I always joke with the doctors. I am always late. Even if I'm feeling like crap, because look, they have a tough job to do, right? So I'm always a good patient. So yesterday I said to the doctor, look, I thought I was coming in for a little dab of Benadryl and I was going to get out of here. I had no idea you were going to take skin from 2 of my legs, take urine, take blood. I said, I really did have no idea. I really thought I was going to go there. Oh yeah, you're going to rash here some Benadryl, go home. It's nothing. You're a hypochondriac. You're a baby. That's what I expected, So it's a little different. Yeah, so what happened was my Layla girl, that's a very good point. And the doctor said that to me. When the doctor first thought she said, look, we don't know what it is, but we're going to treat you as it is Rocky Mountain spotted fever because it's a very bad disease and we don't want to misdiagnose you, and it can't hurt you to start treating you for that because that's what it looks like. And that's exactly what they did, and then they did the biopsies to verify. But yeah, so that's what happened there, So, so talk about the casino, right? So I was down in Florida and we took a ride to the casino, went to the, down on Mockley Road, Wyken and everything, the Seminole Indian Casino. I can never think of that. And it was fun. I won $230 in about a half hour, so that wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and that took my mind off my leg pain. But no, my leg hurt the whole time I was in Florida. Extremely, I felt bad. I went down there to visit Bob, and all I did is complain about my leg and my back all week long, and then I went and visited my parents on the weekend. Now, I don't mind complaining to them about my leg and my back because they make it 80 degrees in there. Listen, at my parents' house in Florida, in the middle of the night, they got the heat on in Florida, okay? They got the heat on in Florida, 80 degrees in Florida, you know what I'm saying? So now I got leg pain, back pain, and I'm sweating, okay, at my parents' house in Florida, So, oh yeah, so now you have chronic issues. Now that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of having residual effects or residual, right outside Orlando, okay. I'm afraid of having residual effects. I'm hoping they caught it in time. My real estate agent, believe it or not, just texted me. So, there we go. There's talking about no properties out there. So somebody's saying about property. There's nothing for sale. In this area in Rhode Island, there's no multis out there. None. Zero. Okay? Hardly anything for sale right now. Now, when I was in Florida, I looked, because I always look, there was minimal, even down in where I was, Naples, there, I think Fort Myers, there was a couple of multis that even piqued my interest a little bit, but not much. So there's really not much out there. I did use Southwest when I went down last Tuesday. I took Southwest Tuesday going down, and I used, of course, Southwest coming back the other day. When I went down on Tuesday, I stopped in Orlando. It was from Providence to Orlando, and then Orlando to Fort Myers. Coming back, it was Fort Myers to Baltimore, which I like the Baltimore airport. You know, it's funny. So I'm coming back Monday morning, right? I get to Baltimore at 8 o'clock. My other flight wasn't until 9:30. I'm hungry. Well, I love the airport of Baltimore. If anybody hasn't been in the airport of Baltimore, they got the best restaurants. First of all, they got Chipotle. They got McDonald's. They got Arby's. They got a Jumbo Juice. What else do they have? They got a diner, Silver Diner, and they got another restaurant. It's like a pub down the end, almost like a TGI Fridays type of thing. So I love that airport, right? So here's the best part, right? All the places had lines in them because they all serve breakfast in the morning, right? Well, Arby's only had one person line. So I go up to Arby's. I said, look, are you serving the roast beef sandwiches now? Oh, yeah. I had 2 of the Arby's classics. I love, because we have no Arby's in Rhode Island. I don't know why, but I like Arby's. I really do like Arby's. So I had 2 classics Monday morning. That made my leg feel better for a little while. Wow, so even in Ireland, the mosquitoes are bad in Ireland. So, I mean, that's the problem. The problem is these stupid diseases that these bugs carry. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I hate getting bit. Yeah, so Rhode Island's real estate market is just exploded. Kind of like, that's funny, with the putting a laser at me. The Rhode Island real estate market is out of control right now. The prices are way high. That's why I can't buy anything right now. The problem is this. It's the building prices that are high too, the remodeling prices. Everything is 2/3 higher, okay, than it needs to be or used to be. And that's causing rental prices to go up. It's causing sale prices to go up. And there's not that much for sale, so that's causing sale prices to go up. That's the problem, Hey, terrific. The rash is from... Well, they still think it's the, what did I tell you? The Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Like I said, I'd show it to people, it's not really pretty, it's annoying. But anyway, so that's where the rash came from, Let's see, what else we got? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I might have been on your plane. You should have said something to me, I think that'd be cool, So, are you a Trump hater? Well, I don't really have an opinion on that. He's not the president anymore, so what do we care? That being said, I've never gotten political on TikTok, and I won't get political on TikTok. Everybody knows my feeling. I've voted Republican, I've voted Democrat, and I voted Independent in my lifetime. And I vote for the person, and hopefully the person does a good job and does what I think they're going to do. And if they don't, then in 4 years, guess what? I vote for somebody else, right? So that's the story with that. Hey, Bobby, Rhode Island, how you doing? Today was good to me. Yeah, today was good to me. I got no diagnoses today, so today was good to me. I can't complain about today. But yeah, it's amazing not to get political, and I'm not going to get political, but it's amazing how people try to pigeonhole other people into their political stand. But you know what? They're still a person. And I thought about it the other day. I was thinking about who are the people, they were Republican and they were Democrat and they were married, right? I'm having a mental block right now, and it will come to me. They were a married couple, and one was Republican, one was Democrat. They're both on TV every single day. And they used to go home at night and live together happily ever after. But during the day, they were political pundits for both parties. And that just showed me that what good people they were, that they were able to keep their political views apart and still be husband and wife in that case. But there were friends that have different political views. The ones that cross the line are the ones saying, I'm not going to be friends with you because you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. those people there, do we even want to be friends with them? Because I mean, obviously, that's a little short-sighted on both sides. On both sides, it's like, put it aside. You know what I'm saying? Put your views aside. It's supposed to be America, right? We're supposed to be able to have our own opinion. So the people that take it so seriously, that say, I'm not going to be friends with you because then you know what? That's almost a screw loose. Okay, I'll tell you that, because that's a little too far. Okay, we hope that we get the right people. We hope we make the right decision, and we hope that it works out. Yeah, so if I was to sell, it is a seller's market right now. Yeah, and if I was to sell, yes, I can get top dollar for my properties, so I can get more money right now for selling my properties. The question is, it only works if I have another place to spend that money, or to use the money, to invest the money, to make more money. I can't buy more real estate because I'm just buying more expensive real estate. So that's why I'm kind of taking it slow right now, saying, you know what, I'm happy with the property I own right now. Let me maintain my property. Let me improve my property. Let me get the rents to where they need to be, market rents, and let the market settle down right now, because there is nothing for sale at a reasonable price right now. And the problem is the people that are buying are not making multifamilies. The people that are buying are not making any money. They're buying just for the sake of buying. I don't know if because they feel like they have to. They're used to buying. There's an urge. But for me, it's all about the bottom line. It's the numbers. Unless that property will make me money, there's no reason for me to buy it, So anyway, so that's the story with that, I'm kind of excited. The last season, or the last few episodes of Ozark is coming out in a couple weeks. I'm excited about that. And the last season of Better Call Saul is coming. I've been waiting for that for 2 years. Excited about that. I don't watch a lot of TV, so that's why when the seasons that I really like, the shows really, I'm excited about that, Oh, yes, you're right. James Carville and Mary Matlin. Thank you very much. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't believe I couldn't think of it, and thank you very much. But also, even, you're absolutely right, James Carville. And I got to tell you, think about those two, right? Married, still married. They own a restaurant together, and you can't talk about complete opposites, right? You cannot talk about complete opposites of the spectrum. And they impressed me because they were able, they were able to have their own political beliefs, and each one respected each other having their own political beliefs. And that's what I believe. I respect anybody who has a different political belief than I do. Okay, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Now, even within a party, you might be a Republican, you might be a Democrat, and you might have a candidate who you're not happy with, right? Well, what are you going to do? You're supposed to support your party. I know, obviously, that's what happened with the Republicans. That's what happened with the Democrats. Now, I'm sure not every Democrat loves President Biden. I always like to refer to him as President Biden because he is the president. When Donald Trump was the president, he was President Trump, right? And not every Republican obviously liked him either, right? So it's just interesting. But yeah, right. James Carville, thank you guys. Lake Run and Big Spin. Sometimes I can't think of things, right? Because I'm live and it is what it is. But they impressed me how they were able to live their lives, have their own opinion, and hopefully, I can have the same respect for people like they do, So how long will the bubble last? The bubble's going to last as long as they keep good. It's all related to COVID. I know it sounds crazy, but it is. Because the government is throwing out the money out there, we get the rent relief, right? So the rent relief is out there so people don't have to work. As soon as the government stops giving out the money, stops giving out the free money, stops delaying, as soon as the banks stop giving out these moratoriums on mortgages, as soon as that stops, people have to go to work. And the foreclosures will start up again. The auctions will start up again. What we're not hearing about, and of course we don't know because it's all the banks, private banks. They don't announce it. How many homeowners are behind on their mortgages right now? Think about 2007, 2008, the thousands of houses that got foreclosed on, millions of houses that got foreclosed on in 2007, 2008, which caused what? An influx of property on the market in 2010, 2011. What did it do? It drove prices down, right? And everything kind of balanced out. Same thing has to happen here. The foreclosures have to start again, forcing an influx of millions of houses on the market. And what will happen is once those houses are on the market, it will drive the prices down. When that's going to happen? That's going to happen when they stop helping these people, stop saving these people, stop giving out the free money. That is going to force the bubble to burst and come back down to normal. When that happens is when the government decides to stop helping everybody. Anyway, yeah, Taz, Ozark's fantastic. It's great. It's great. I can't get enough of it. I'm disappointed it's going off. It's a great show. Jason Bateman's one of my actually he's probably my favorite actor. I really like Jason Bateman. He and I had the same age and kind of grew up with him, and yeah, I just really like him a lot. So Bryan Cranston, I heard that he's going to be on Bobby Rhode Island. I heard he is going to be on Better Call Saul in the last season because Better Call Saul is going off. And, of course, it's getting closer to that. Well, it is at that crossover of the overlap of Breaking Bad, which was a great series. So I believe Bryan Cranston's supposed to be on at least one episode. So, yeah, see, the interest rates are going up and up and up, okay? But, again, if there's nothing to buy, then the interest rates, what that's going to do too, though, is the interest rates going up and people are going to stop refinancing. So that's going to slow down. That might force the banks, though, to stop pushing some of these foreclosures because, the banks want their money. So that's what's going to happen. I mean, when I started going to the auctions in 2014, I was going to 30 auctions a week. I was splitting up. Mike was going to auctions with me. And then he started going on his own. And then when Andrew started working for me, he was going to auctions. The three of us were splitting up, going on. That's how many auctions there were. Right now, I'm lucky if I go to 2 a week, 1 a week. Last week, there was none. So they're scheduled, but they get canceled. So that's the problem. It's all because of what's happened with COVID. The relief, the banks are giving moratoriums. The banks are letting people not pay. But this is going on 3 years. The people will never be able to dig out of their hole. So there's going to be a big influx of $1 million houses for sale again in a couple of years. And that's when everything's going to balance out. That's when everything's going to regulate itself. The problem with that is you're going to have people that bought houses now at very high prices. When the market drops, they're going to be upside down, just like in 2007. It's all over again. They're going to be all upside down. All these people paying so high for their houses right now. Apartment in Cohasset, Mass. is $3,800. Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot of money for an apartment, but it's the area. But yeah, I believe it. That's unbelievable. Well, once the interest rates go up, what happens is that slows down buying and refinancing. So then so you're right. It slows down buying and refinancing, but there's not much to buy and refinance right now. Well, people can refinance, but once they go up, that will stop. But it's all about the short sales. Let's talk about short sales. So short sales could be a good thing. So if you're a buyer, a home buyer, and you're looking to buy a home, yes, you can get a great deal on a short sale. So what is a short sale? A short sale is somebody who wants to get out of their mortgage and the bank has allowed them to sell the house for less than what's owed on it. And they give them a range of really where they can sell it. They have to hire a real estate agent. The real estate agent has to market it. I bought a 4-family at a short sale a couple months ago. The only thing is short sales take months. I mean, this particular one took me a year. I bought it a couple months ago, but I started a year ago. So you have to be patient with short sales. Excuse me for 1 second. So you have to be patient with short sales. And the other problem with short sale is you kind of have to be prepared to buy it too. So once it goes through, then the bank says, okay, when can you close? So that's the deal with short sales. But yes, you can get a great deal on a short sale. I did, so 2007 and 2008, I did buy property in 2007 and 2008. Now, I will tell you the story about the property I bought in 2007, 2008, because I told a TikTok story on this one. So I bought a piece of property in 2007 in West Warwick, Rhode Island. It's a 4-family. I still own it. Almost lost it. So I bought it in 2007. Then when the banking crisis happened and my audiovisual business took a huge hit, I fell behind on my mortgage on that property in West Warwick. When I fell behind, it was Countrywide Home Loans. Everyone probably remembers them. That's who I had the mortgage with. They renegotiated me an abatement where they lowered my interest. They lowered my interest rate. They lowered my payments temporarily till I could get caught up. They worked with me. Well, Countrywide went out of business, and Bank of America took over Countrywide. And if you remember right, Bank of America had major legal problems. They got sued by the government, got sued by a lot of other banks. Bank of America had major problems in 2008. Anyway, when they took over my mortgage, they would not honor the agreement that I had with Countrywide. So 2009, 2010, I kept sending in my payment as agreed to with Countrywide. Bank of America kept sending it back to me. Every month sent it back to me. But every time they sent it back to me, what happened? My amount due went up. Now my mortgage at the time was $1,200 a month. So the next month it was $2,400. Next month it was $36, $48. This went on for 5 years. So do the math. But here's the problem. During the 5 years, even though I kept sending it in, they then started what? Foreclosure, right? They want to auction off my house, blah, blah, blah. My lawyer had to go to court and stop it. My lawyer stopped the auction on that property 4 times. I got lucky in 2012. Ocwen Home Loans took over my mortgage servicing for that property. And they saw where I had the agreement with Countrywide and Bank of America didn't honor it. They saw that I was 5 years behind on my mortgage. And see, the problem is this. You could send in a $10,000 payment. It wasn't good enough. At that point, if you owe $65,000, that's what they want to get current, right? Plus all the fees and late fees. So now this is when Bank of America sued. They owed $400 million. Well, guess what? I was one of those people. I was a victim of Bank of America. That's why I hate their guts. Bank of America tried to take my house 4 times, but my lawyer stopped it. Ocwen sued them on my behalf and won. The penalty was that they had to lower my interest rate to 2%, which I pay now. They had to take all the fees off that they put on the mortgage, and they had to take. So at that time, my balance was $189,000 plus the $65,000. Right? They had to cancel the $65,000. They had to take $100,000 off of my mortgage principal, and I owed $89,000. And that's exactly what happened. They got sued and they lost by Ocwen. And my mortgage payment dropped down to $89. Oh, and they also had to fix my credit because they screwed up my credit, right? Because they kept putting me late. So I couldn't buy a thing. My credit score went down to 450 because of Bank of America. So anyway, that's a true story. That's what happened with the house I bought in 2007. Now, one little side note to that story. During the time that Bank of America kept sending me back my mortgage payments, they placed me with lender-placed insurance. If anybody knows anything about that, it's shitty insurance, and they charge like 5 times the amount to screw you. But I always had that house insured with my insurance company the whole time. So what happened was, not only did I win, but about 2 months after this got settled. Oh, by the way, my mortgage payment dropped down to $289 a month. It was $1,200, dropped down to $289 after they took off all the fees, took off all the bullshit, this and that. So now it's at $89,000, right, at 2%. So as of today, it's down to like 50 because it's been a few years. I've paid it off, and I still own the house. So I could pay that mortgage off, obviously, but why would I? A 2% interest rate? I'm paying 2% interest, so I'm stupid if I pay it off. I use that money for other stuff. 2 months after we settled the case, I get a check in the mail for $34,000. What it was Bank of America reimbursed me for all the insurance money that they charged me during that time. But I didn't have to pay it because they had to take it off the mortgage anyway. So that was a bonus check I got for $30,000 2 months after the whole settlement. But, they deserve what they got. They didn't honor in 2007, 2008, there were so many banks. I have other stories of other banks that worked with me. Bank of America is the only bank that did not work with me. Absolutely not. They are the worst. Now, moving on along with that story, when I buy property, I put a lot of money down. Which is good and bad. So I put a lot of money down because I want a low mortgage payment, right? but it also gives me equity in the property. So in 2008, when all the property values dropped, even though my property values dropped, I was never upside down because I put so much money down when I bought them. So if I bought a house that was $300,000 and put down 150 and owed 150, but the value dropped down to 220, I still had 70,000 equity. The reason why that's good and bad is it was good I still had equity. The bad thing is if I fell behind, the bank had no problem taking that house because they know they can sell it quick. So that was the bad part. So a lot of people that were upside down were probably in a better position than I was leverage-wise because the banks don't want a negative house. They wanted a positive house. So that made it difficult for me in negotiating, which kind of sucked. I learned a lot during that time. But I did prevail with Bank of America thanks to Aqua, and I got to give them the credit. You know, hey, how are you? I do have a great lawyer. So my lawyer became my lawyer in 1997 when I opened up my nightclub in Providence. He became my lawyer. Been my lawyer ever since. He is the best lawyer. He is the best lawyer. He is down to earth. I've talked about him before. He's smart. He's intelligent. He knows I'm a little, kooky. But the thing about him is this, and here's what I like about him. He'll tell me when I'm being an asshole. Hey, Jeff, you're being out of line. It's not being fair. Look, if, you need to think about this for a minute. And he's my voice of reason. But on the other hand, just like with the city of Warwick assholes in the building department who've been screwing with me for the last year, he sees and has the facts that they've been screwing me, harassing me, and he's fighting for me. So that's what's nice about him. If he knows I'm right and feels that I'm right and I'm being treated unfairly, he will fight for me. But if I'm doing something wrong, he'll tell me and say, Jeff, look, he's a really honest, moral, ethical guy, and I applaud him for that, and I appreciate that because it's helped me with my business. A few things I've learned from him over the years, and I'll share this with you. Again, I talk about this, not it doesn't work for everybody, but simple things. Put everything in writing, emails, text. If you have a phone call with somebody, follow it up with an email in writing. Hey, per our conversation, just want to confirm this is what we talked about and agreed on. Put everything in writing. Do you know how many times that's helped me? I learned that from Steve. That number one, okay? Put everything in writing. The other thing he taught me, and this is the best one, if you tell the truth, then guess what? You don't have to have a good memory because you're telling the truth. Just tell what happened, no matter what it is. So there's been incidences where I've had to give depositions, go back and tell a story. So as long as you're telling the truth, think about it. You don't have to. It's when you lie that you have to remember things, make up stories, and remember what you said. And all that. So that's the other thing I learned from him. Just tell the truth, and you know what? You don't have to remember things if you tell the truth. So those are a couple of things I've learned from him. But putting things in writing has so many times helped me. And with me, I call people out a lot. So look, sometimes I put things in writing that it doesn't come back to bite me, but somebody will come back and say, hey, you wrote this. Yeah, I wrote this, and I stand by it. So that's the other thing, too. So I did not have I have not had a financial advisor until about a year and a half ago. Back then, so everything creeped up on me. I've talked about this on TikTok before. Everything creeped up on me. I had my audiovisual business that ran, made some money off of it, took that money, bought some real estate, did my own taxes, right? Those are the two businesses I was running, was the audiovisual business, the real estate, and the ice cream shops. All small, little nickel and dime businesses, right? Did my own taxes. Then all of a sudden, really in the early 2010s, I did buy a couple of properties, 2007, 2008, but really since then is when I got aggressive buying properties. That's where it creeped up on me, and I probably should have had a financial advisor 10 years ago, but I didn't. I was doing everything myself, making my decisions, making my own mistakes, taking responsibility for my mistakes. But I should have had a financial advisor back then. If I did, I wouldn't have made a lot of mistakes I did make. But now I do have I actually have two financial advisors now that work for me, work with me, and are fantastic. And I guess I didn't need them back then because I didn't have any profit, any money. I owed everybody. So really back then it was just a debt advisor, really back then, because I owed everybody. Have you met the judge from East Providence? No, I have not. Who is the judge in East Providence? I'm just curious. Yeah, so the ring light, that's weird because it's really light tonight. I'll put it up all the way. Look, see that? It's washing me out. I'm a ghost. I have it like really low. I think what it is I have some downlights underneath my cabinets that are kind of bright tonight. They're LEDs under my cabinets. I don't know how to adjust those, but that's weird. Look at my ring light is like off. Yeah, see, so that must be the lights from my cabinets. That's like washing me out tonight. I'm using my iPad tonight too. Usually I use my iPhone. I don't know if that makes a difference. If the camera on the iPad is brighter, I don't know. So I can always sit back. But that's what I'm saying. Look how far back I am. I'm still bright. And I got the lights off in my office. Maybe this is part of the disease. It's making me all pale. I played some music earlier, but I had a complaint. See, my parents watch TikTok, right? So now I got some critics on there, right? So I got some trolls on there, right? My parents are watching me live from Florida. They're in Florida. And they watch me. Now I have to be careful what I say, No, they're okay. They're fine. So, you ever listen to Clark Howard? He calls the big banks mega monsters. Well, they are mega monsters. A lot of financial people do that, say, hey, they're mega monsters, the banks. The big banks, the big banks are out for themselves. The smaller banks do work with it. I see that even now with my mortgages, with my, see, I just had another agent. So I was talking to somebody about how do you find properties, right? You have the agents work for you. So far during my life, I've had 2 real estate agents text me of properties that are available, that are for sale. So that's how I do it, and tell me what's for sale, and I'll take a look at it and see if it's something that piques my interest. But right now there's just so much. So here's a good example. If those went on the market today, there's gonna be 100 people all over those. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to them and just let them all look at them in a minute. Oops. I want to let them know I'm finishing. There we go. Just tell them I'm on my TikTok. So buying your first property at 19. So the common mistake there would be obviously negotiating the best price, and also looking into the property to make sure that it's bringing in the money. Is this a rental property, or is this a single family property? Let me know, is it a multifamily or single family? Because obviously different problems, right? Buying the different properties, but different problems. Anyway, I need a haircut. All right, I'll get a haircut tonight. Oh boy, it's a single contract. Okay, so single family. So yeah, the only thing you have to do is I would have a lawyer represent you in the closing, because he'll do the title search and make sure the title's clear. And then obviously you want to just make sure that you're getting the best, interest rate. You're working with a good bank. You're protected that way, and get a home inspection just to see if there's any major problems with the property. But that's pretty much it. On a single family house, that's really the major things. The A, you have a good lawyer representing you. B, that you get a good interest rate, so you're getting it for the right price, and of course your monthly payment's important. I gotta say that's probably one of the mistakes people make on any purchase. I got one now. I'm refinancing, right? And I keep asking the mortgage broker, what's my rate going to be and what's my monthly payment going to be? Estimate. I understand the rates change. They're not even telling me. So this is a refinance. How much are you giving me? See, what happens is when you do a refinance, they're giving you based on the value of the property, right? They're moving forward. They contacted my lawyer. So I said, Steve, they haven't even told me how much they're giving me yet. Why are they contacting you? Because at some point, if I need $300,000, only give me $200,000, I'm going to tell them to screw. So that's the problem. So I think part of the problem is asking the questions of the mortgage broker or the bank who you're working with. Hey, how much am I going to be getting? Am I going to be covered on this? That's important. Hey, Big Spin, how you doing? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, I just learned from doing. You know, I didn't go to school for it. I didn't go to school for real estate. I didn't. It's all from doing, making mistakes, having successes. Not everything was a mistake. Some things I've done. I'm proud of the way I handled some certain things and the successes there, and that's huge. Really. I didn't mean to say huge, like huge, you know, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But no, but I will share with you my experiences, what I did right, what I did wrong, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and then you take it and use it or not use it, you know. Hey, you know, why not? What's the purpose of refinancing? How do you judge when it's a good idea? Great question. So I refinance for a couple of different reasons. I buy a lot of properties using private money. I do cash deals. I'll make a cash offer on a piece of property, borrow the money, which is cash, from a private lender, buy the property, knowing that I am going to refinance it with a conventional bank. So that's the purpose. Now, the reason why I refinance it is I'm paying 8%, 7% to the private lender who I'm dealing with, right? I'm paying a high interest rate. And usually it's a short-term loan. It's only for a year anyway. So I have to refinance it. So that's one reason I refinance. Another reason I refinance is, and this is what I've been doing lately, if I want to buy a larger piece of property, for instance, I got that $5.8 million loan when I bought the big piece of property in Cranston. The property was only 3.5, but the loan was 5.8. Why? Because I refinanced some other properties at the same time. Why did I do that? I had a ton of equity in those properties. I refinanced those properties, took the money out, and that was my down payment on the property I bought for $3.5 million. That's why I refinanced those. Because again, I had a lot of equity. I buy a lot of property. Like I told you earlier, I like to have a lot of equity in my properties. So that's the other reason why I refinance. Third reason why you refinance, in this particular case, it's not working, but when the interest rates drop down and you're paying a high interest rate. So say I'm paying 5% and they drop down to 2.5. Well, you're going to refinance to the 2.5. That's the third reason to refinance, to get a better interest rate and save money, right? And have more cash flow per month. But right now, the two main reasons I refinance is, well, and actually I've combined one and two, is I refinance my private money properties. I refinance those to conventional mortgages, and at the same time, I take money out to buy another large piece of property. So that's why I refinance. And I'm in the process of that now. So I'm actually doing two right now. I'm doing one to finance a piece of property I'm buying for $1 million. But also I have another package I'm doing, which is going to be my construction loan for the renovation of the nursing home. So that'll be another one. So that way I'm not just borrowing a ton of money against the nursing home. I will refinance properties, which I want to anyway, and it will give me my construction loan to get that project done. So that's the reason I refinance. So you can consider it a bridge loan. I mean, I'm using it like a bridge loan. But when I take equity out of the properties, I'm refinancing the properties. So I'm doing a whole new mortgage. So it's not really a bridge loan. I'm actually a loan. I'm doing a whole new mortgage. So, for instance, if I own a piece of property that's worth $500,000 and I only owe $250 on it, I'll refinance it. So that way I'll refinance it at, say, $350. So I take $150 out of that one. I'll do another one, So they have a whole brand new mortgage, okay, and I use that money to buy another piece of property. So that's how I do it. And now I have a conventional mortgage. I have one mortgage. So for instance, when I bought the property in Cranston, I actually refinanced 7 pieces of property, plus I purchased the 39 unit. So it's 8 pieces of property and 1 mortgage. So I get one big fat mortgage payment a month on all those properties. That's how that works. So they're bundled together in one mortgage and one payment that I make around the 20th, okay? It's a small payment. It's only $33,000. So, yeah, biggest one I ever had in my life. I have to sit down when I write that check. But anyway, that's how it worked. It's 7 pieces probably plus the new one. So I did one big mortgage. But I didn't have to take one dime of cash out of my pocket, right? I'm using other people's money, and having the good interest rates, the mortgages are paid by the tenants, by the renters, and now I now own that much more property. So that's why I do it that way. So, deck's coming good. In fact, this week I thought I was going to get this stuff today. When you asked about the deck, I thought you were talking about another deck because that's a story I have to tell. I do have a deck story about another piece of property. But anyway, the no, 33K doesn't look bad. No, you're right. At that point, the 33 doesn't look bad when I have. So, for instance, I have 8 pieces of property, and I'll talk about the deck loan in a minute. The 8 pieces of property is a total of 39 units plus the other 7 times 40 units. So we're talking about 75 units are paying me income rent, and out of that 75 units, I have the one mortgage payment of the 33. Of course, then I have interest and other expenses. But yes, that's why it worked for me, looking at it from that point of view. Exactly. It was 80 units altogether, roughly, that got refinanced into that one mortgage payment. The deck in Cranston's look, I'm thrilled. We're ahead of schedule. This week, I'm supposed to be getting the materials list. So we can order the materials and get that done. And I am so excited to get that done, get that project out of the way so I can move on to one more project, which is the 50 unit. I got to get that done. The new architectural firm I hired is Quick. They're fantastic. They're so professional. I'm so happy I went with them and they even asked me, look, when you hire us, can we take charge of the project? In other words, can we control the project? Almost, I would say project managers, not really general contractor because we're not to that point yet, but they are the project managers, and I'm really glad they suggested it, and they're doing a great job with it, and that helped me out a lot. If you make a 10-hour drive, okay, to come buy ice cream from me, not only will I give it to you personally, but I will give you free ice cream. I'm not going to sell you ice cream after you drove 10 hours to see me to get ice cream, okay? I will be glad to give you and whoever you bring with ice cream, So, in fact, today, I was telling a story about my tenants, So I want to do something nice for my tenants. So, and actually, somebody on TikTok suggested it. So I'm doing discount coupons for my tenants to get ice cream at my ice cream shops, right? So I was thinking about, okay, how can I do it? How can I keep track of it? Well, here's the fair thing. I'm going to give them coupons when they come in and pay their rent, as long as they pay the rent by the 4th, right, when it's due. So anybody who comes in and pays their rent on time gets a discount coupon that month for ice cream. And I'll give them like $5 off. So if they buy it could be a free ice cream cone. If they buy a $5 item, then it's free. So that's how I'm going to do that. I thought that was kind of cool. It's kind of fair, So that's what I'm going to do for my tenants. We're going to make special coupons for them. They come in and pay their rent. If they email the rent or pay it, then we'll email them a coupon. So they don't get penalized by paying their rent through Zelle or through Cash App or directly to the bank or whatever. But I thought that was kind of cool. So that was a suggestion from a TikTok viewer. I thought it was a great idea. Trying to be fair and why not? Why not get them to go to the ice cream shop? My leg is killing me tonight. So this is really weird. At night, it hurts, like after 5 o'clock at night. So my right leg is in a lot of pain. My thigh, my knee, it's a little swollen. It's in a lot of pain. Of course, where they did the biopsies yesterday in both legs, I'm in even more pain, which kind of bums me out, I've thought about doing gifts for tenants during Christmas and other holidays. What do you think? I guess you could give gifts, maybe a gift card or something like that. That would be nice. Not to all, maybe to the tenants that are always in good standing, the tenants that are, that pay their rent on time. Why not? That's why I'm doing that. So I'm going to give Jasmine, in the office, hey, Jasmine, whoever pays their rent on time gets a coupon for ice cream. And it'll be a $5 coupon. If I know there's a lot of people in the household, maybe we'll get a little more. And that's how I'm gonna do it. I think that's fair. I think it'd be kind of fun. We'll see if the tenants like it. I'm not telling them about it. We're just gonna start doing it unless they're on here watching me. Some do watch me. My electrician so I keep an iPad right here next to me. By the way, I don't want you to think what I'm looking at. See, I keep an iPad right next to me. So my iPad, so all night long, like I said, I had 2 real estate agents reach out to me. My electrician just texted me to let me know the update of what he did today, what he's doing tomorrow. So it's kind of cool. So when people say you work all the time, well, yeah, but it's they're sending me emails, texts. Oh, now he's calling me. I'll take the call. Hello. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Sure. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, so just flip it around, however it works. That's fine. Yep. No. So on one side the stove will be on the right, the other side the stove will be on the left. Perfect. Yep, that's fine. As long as the cabinet is there first. As long as you still have the cabinet, either the 12 or 15-inch cabinet. Well, you had 96 inches, right? So you could, yes, you could do it. You can do an 18 if you want, because I was leaving 3 inches, so you can do 2 18s. Yeah, because 30, you got 30 for the stove. See, you guys are learning something, right? We have 96 inches. So 36, so you can do 30 for the stove, 30 inch for the sink base, right? And then 2 18s gives you 96. That's perfect. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we can figure it out. We can make it work. Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's why with the 15, I like having the 3 inches because you're right. If we end up doing 5/8 sheetrock, there's a inch and a half right there. You know what I'm saying? So, yes. All right. So maybe I can do a 28. That's fine. We'll do 20. Those are small apartments. I'll do a 28. Okay. Refrigerator. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So we'll just finish it up and we'll do 28s in there. That's all. So. Yeah, so what we'll have to do is what we'll do is we'll have to, yeah, exactly, before we close on the walls, let's get up there and look at where we have to put the fire alarm devices. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. All right. But so if you have to wait for Dwayne, you can move on to one of the other apartments. And because Dwayne's going to be done at the condo, I think Friday. All right. Perfect. Okay, no problem. Sounds good. All right, yeah, that's exactly right. Thanks. All righty. All right, bye. So that's Michael. He's my master electrician. And at the end of the day, he checks in with me. What happened was, talk about we're doing some small apartments up on a third floor, the very small apartments, 1 bedroom apartments. So that's why not huge kitchens because they're small apartments, and we're remodeling them. So that's what happened. Just call me, let me know because they're next to each other, one across the hall from each other. And he was just telling me that he has to reverse the kitchens. Like I don't care. And then he was talking about the size of the refrigerator. So anyway, so you can see that's how much involved I am. Because what happens is I'll go in, I'll do the original measurements, I look at the apartments, I'll do the design, then they build it. As they build it, look, did I make a mistake in design? Sometimes I do. Or sometimes they'll say, hey, you know what? You have an extra 3 inches. Do you want to put a bigger cabinet? Like in this case, but I don't have room for the extra cabinet because once you put the sheetrock on the walls, that makes the space smaller, and they don't realize that. So that's the story with that. No, Michael's not a nephew. Michael's not a nephew at all. I do have 2 nephews that work for me, Chicken Bucket, but no, Michael's not a nephew. Really good guy. Michael's a really good guy, excellent electrician, and a really nice guy. And I'm glad I have him working for me. I gotta tell you, I like my staff right now. It's been a real good test the last few weeks with me not being there every day and being out to see who's doing the right thing and who's not doing the right thing. And I've given everybody carte blanche as far as the management goes. Tim with the ice cream shops, Tim, it's yours. He asked me today actually about one of the employees, and I said, Tim, you make the decision. I'm not going to second guess whatever decision that is, because he's having a problem with the employee. No, you want to let that employee go? I have no problem with that. And I said, but it's up to you. And I don't second guess it. I learned that a long time ago. Same thing with Andrew. Andrew let somebody go a couple weeks ago. I don't question it. I have to trust my managers, and I've seen enough anyway with these employees. So you can see which one is in it and who's not. So it's been a great test, and that's why I really like my staff. Dwayne's been fantastic. I can't say enough about him, and Mike. And it's made me happy because now it frees me up. It frees me up to sit and relax if I want, right, and do nothing, or do something else, right? Expand and do something else. Not that I want to, because I don't. I'm trying to, if anything, I'm trying to streamline right now, trying to consolidate, trying to streamline. But I can focus on things like the audiovisual business. The audiovisual business came back strong. So today, or last week, we decided we're going to buy, I actually paid for them today, the Jumbotrons. I'm buying 2 giant Jumbotrons on trailers, the big giant LED 10 by 23 foot screens. That's how big they are. And they are on hydraulics. They lift up. You see them a lot of times at big fairs, festivals, concerts, outdoor. These are outdoor Jumbotrons. So I bought 2 of them. Now, it's a risk, because it's a lot of money for these 2 Jumbotrons. It's a financial risk. It's a calculated risk because, I know that in New England, nobody, maybe 1 or 2 people have them, but I know every time we needed to rent one, we have to go down south to get them, and they bring them up here. There's nobody in New England that rents them. So I'm taking a chance to buy them, and hey, we'll have you have to tow them with trucks, and I'm going to rent them out. But 2 Jumbotrons, so that's cool. I'm going to post some pictures, and of course, they're building them now. It takes 6 weeks to build them. We have to go get them. They're in Iowa. So we actually have to go there with trucks, pickup trucks, whatever, F-350s, F-250s to tow them back because they're on big trailers. But that's kind of exciting actually for me to get these Jumbotrons. You know what I mean? It's not that many people own Jumbotrons. So I'll play. It's a toy to me, again, being a techie guy. So we get these Jumbotrons. We're going to set them up. I know. We're going to play with them, put our pictures up on them, right? You zoom in the camera on them. But anyway, we're going to use them for some graduations in June, and I'm going to market them and rent them. And so that's an expansion of the audiovisual business. Well, again, I can sit here now with a clear head. Okay, what do I want to do? Butler Waste, same thing. Butler Waste is starting to do very well. So now I can have a clear head. Where do we want to go with that business? How do I want to market it? We got a couple of great customers, new customers yesterday. We got a lead on some customers yesterday. So that business is, so what's happening is by me not being in the office and not being distracted, I'm actually being more productive, which is really nice, and getting more efficient. Hey, Minnesota, how you doing? Minnesota too. Look at that. 2 people from Minnesota. How many businesses do I own? I own Butler Waste Disposal. I own Audiovisual Services. So a couple of these businesses are kind of overlap. So I own Audiovisual Services, which is a nationwide audiovisual production company. We travel all over the country doing conferences and shows. I also own New England Audiovisual, which is the same type of business, but it's marketed locally in New England. But New England Audiovisual and Audiovisual Services is the same type of business. So there's one. It falls under Audiovisual Services LLC is the company. I own Frozen Desserts LLC, which is my ice cream shops, which I own 4 ice cream shops under that. Butler Waste Disposal, which is the company I started 2 years ago, which is the front load dumpsters, the rear load dumpsters, the permanents that you go and pick up every week, companies and businesses buying their building. You flip the dumpster over, so I own that business. And I also own 150 roll-off containers, construction containers. So I own Butler Waste, and then I recently bought Rollaway Disposal here in Rhode Island. So I own Butler Waste and Rollaway Disposal. And then, of course, Elmwood Realty, Spring Street Realty, Elmwood Realty North, and Pawtucket Village Properties. Those are my 4 real estate holding companies where I own 380 rental units. So that's what I own now. I'm pretty much staying with that, with those 4, but those 4 are expanding, where the ice cream shop's opening up a new store. Butler Waste is, moving to the new building. We just took on some new customers. So that business is expanding, right? Elmwood Realty, I'm doing the 50-unit apartment house. I'm renovating the 39 units. So that business is expanding. So I'm always expanding. And of course, Audiovisual Services, I just talked about the Jumbotrons. So each business on its own has its own management, and it's independent of each other. And they're each growing on their own now. Of course, everything came to a kind of a standstill with COVID. Kind of. The real estate didn't. I still had tenants renting from me. But audiovisual services did come to a standstill. Butler Waste started because of COVID. And the ice cream shops kind of kept status quo during COVID. But the audiovisual company is the one that took the biggest hit. It's my biggest company, and it took the biggest hit. But now it's back in business. Let's see. Am I ready to open up a new business? So, it's funny. I'm always looking. There's always an opportunity out there. I'm always looking. And I never say no, and I never say yes, because, I look at the different opportunities that are out there. If it looks like it's going to be, I will tell you, anything that I do now, I'm trying to do something that's less labor intensive. Just because, managing people is tough, and hiring people now, obviously, is very tough. But I'm trying to do something that's less labor intensive. That's why the Jumbotrons are an interesting investment, because you literally, one person drives that Jumbotron to an event, hits the button, hydraulics, lifts it up in the air, and that's it. It's a one-person thing. Unless we're providing the sound and the lighting and the video and everything else for the event. But typically, I plan on just renting these out. Excuse me. I plan on just renting them out to other AV companies or anybody that needs a Jumbotron for an event. So that's a good question, Chicken Bucket. Elmwood Realty has paid what did I pay? I paid the monthly bills, but I still owe they're going to be nagging me this week for the roll-off, the construction dumpsters. But I am staying on top of it. And it's funny, ever since that day that, Elmwood Realty started paying its bills, Butler Waste is doing great. Go figure, right? Go figure that if this one customer paid its bills, that company would be profitable, right? So that's exactly right. So yeah, so we're getting caught. Elmwood Realty's getting caught up. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing, so Brian manages Butler Waste. So he did manage Butler Waste till recently. He got a little promotion, but Andrew manages Elmwood Realty. Now they're brothers. So you don't know if maybe Elmwood Realty wasn't paying the bill on purpose. I don't know, just to aggravate. I don't know, right? A family feud. But yeah, they happen to both be brothers running two different businesses for me. And but anyways, that was just kind of funny. So I talked about this the other day. So if anybody needs hard money, right? I do have a hard money lender that I do business with here in Rhode Island, Dave, and he actually has a business where he loans money in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Florida. And he told me I can start giving out his contact information to people who are interested in using his to do flip houses, because he wants to expand his business. So if you want, if you're in those areas, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, or in Florida, and you're looking for private money, email me in my bio, and I will send you. In fact, I know two people emailed me yesterday. I got to get back to them. I will send you Dave's contact information so you can reach out to him. What you do is you tell him about the deal, tell him about the property you're buying. Obviously, he does flip houses. Mostly is what he does. Renovations, flip houses, fix and flips. And so yeah, reach out to Dave. You tell him what the deal is, and he'll tell you whether he'll do it or not, He doesn't charge any fees unless he does the deal. So that's the story with that. Brian's older by a year and a half. Yeah, he's about 12 months, actually. 15 months. He's older by 15 months. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, they've had issues. I've talked about this before where, Butler Waste will miss some pickups at Elmwood Realty, and Elmwood Realty will call Butler Waste out on it and say, hey, you missed our pickups. You didn't empty our garbage. And there's been some arguments in the office about it, which is good, But it also, having Elmwood Realty as a customer in the office has helped Butler Waste be a better company, because you see when you miss a pickup how the customer feels, how the client feels. So from a customer point of view, so it's very unique that I own those two different businesses. So the companies have different names because they're all in different LLCs. So what happens is that New England Audiovisual was the original LLC. Then when I started doing business nationwide. Now, what I did do was 2 years ago, Audiovisual Services is the company, and they do business as New England Audiovisual in New England. So it is one corporation using two names. Butler Waste is one company, Butler Waste Incorporated, doing business as Butler Waste, and Rollaway Disposal. One corporation, two names. Frozen Desserts Corporation owns my ice cream shops, doing business as Dear Hearts Ice Cream and then now Hershey's of Warwick. So it's one corporation. The only difference is the properties. My properties are in different LLCs. So one LLC will own 5 properties, another one owns 6 properties, another one 7 properties. Each LLC has to have its own name. Obviously, it has to be a unique name. But that's how I do it. So each corporation has different businesses under it doing business as. It's called fictitious names. So that's why Frozen Desserts is the name of the corporation, but the fictitious names are Dear Hearts Ice Cream and Hershey's of Warwick. So that's how that works. No, Andrew and Brian's offices are not next to each other. Good thing they're not. They're actually down the hall from each other because I have my real estate offices in one cluster and the audiovisual offices are in another cluster. So then they're not, but they'll yell to each other, even though we have a really nice intercom system. Hey, how you doing? So what's wrong with my leg is they don't know. They gave me muscle relaxers, which I'm taking. Oh, that reminds me. I have one thing I have to take. I'll do it right now. I have 2 pills. So I'm taking I'm taking 2 things right now. I'm taking, for all you pharmacists out there, Metaxalone. Now I'm taking this one tablet by mouth. How else would you take it up my ass? 1 tablet by mouth 3 times a day. Okay? So I've already taken it twice today, so this would be the 3rd time. So this is the muscle relaxer, okay? I guess it relaxes my brain, So that's the story there. And then the other one I have to take is, this is the doxycycline. This is for my Rocky Mountain spotted fever that they're treating me for. And I have to take this one twice a day. And I took one this morning, so I will take another one right now. So live on TikTok, I am taking pills. This is like the most exciting TikTok you guys have ever been on, right? Right? Yeah, see? Does anybody ever follow that Lauren Jumps on TikTok, the one that does the I don't know, she showed up on my TikTok the other day. The jump rope, that is unbelievable how fast she is, how good she is. What is somebody doing? They're giving me a dot or something. Hey, did anybody see the bird? That bird came back this morning with a vengeance and attacked one of my windows. And I put the video, I think I put it on the video. I thought I put it on TikTok. Maybe I didn't. And I did it in slow motion too. I was home this morning and I kept hearing this banging. So I went upstairs and that's what it was. The door was muscle cramps. So I will tell you, need magnesium. Oh, all right, I'll look into that. What about the 3rd garbage company? Well, what happened was I bought M&M Disposal. When they went out of business last year, I didn't take their name. I took their phone number, but I didn't take the name. I got the name at the auction because I got everything at the auction, but I didn't want their name. I didn't need their name. I got their trucks. I got their assets. I got their phone number. Got their website. So the website goes to me. But no, I didn't need, them. I didn't need their name. So anyway, so that's the story with that. Try to stay out of the sun as much as possible because of the... Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, somebody else... Yeah, the doctor told me that. That's a good point. Yes, and stay hydrated. Yeah, I am. I noticed that. I've been a little dry. But thank you for letting me know that. And yeah, I'm not really in the sun. I was stuck in the house all day today. Of course, I was in Florida last week, but I didn't start taking this dicyclone. Yeah, I took my first one last night because I got diagnosed yesterday. So I took my first one last night. And the Metaxalone, where do they get these names from? The Metaxalone, I started taking on Monday night. The reason why I paused there, all right, did anybody ever see, so Saturday Night Live to me is not very funny anymore. I would say 1 out of every 10 skits may be funny. And there's, over the years, some memorable skits that I remember. And if anybody has not seen this skit, go on YouTube and go and search it tonight. This was the pharmaceutical names skit, okay? And what it was the funniest. It was, listen, this was probably one of the funniest skits I ever saw on Saturday Night Live. So what it is this lady comes in, she's sitting with a lawyer, she's suing Merck Pharmaceuticals because they're using all her children's names as drugs. Viagra, that was one of her kids' name, right? Oh, it was Venuvia. And it was so funny, right? Because it was like, that's where, right, the names came from her kids, right? It was really, really, really funny, you know? So a couple of weeks ago, so we have a cleaning person that comes to the house. So Carissa, she's a new person. Carissa invited me and introduced me to her. And her name's Venusa. So I said, "Oh, Venusa, that's the new girl we just hired at the ice cream shop." So I had my daughter laughing in stitches because she remembers that skit from Saturday Night Live. But it was just really funny. It just struck me as funny, you know, where they get these names from for the drugs, you know. And so that was really, really funny. So if you listen, just Google it. Google, because I can't explain it as funny as it was, but I guarantee you, if anybody watches it, you'll like it. It was SNL pharmaceutical skit, and it will come up in the names or pharmaceutical names. It was great. I was diagnosed with Rocky Mountain spotted fever, is what I was diagnosed with. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is what I was diagnosed with yesterday. And so here's what's crazy. At first, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in Rhode Island. How the hell did I get a tick bite in the spring in Rhode Island or whatever it is? And the only thing I can think of, well, so now my wife's doing more research on it, and she sees where it could take 2 or 3 days to incubate. Now I'm thinking, okay, last Wednesday I did fall asleep for a few minutes or about half hour on a chaise lounge in Florida. Did I get a bite in Florida? The problem is that doesn't explain my leg pain that I went down to Florida for to begin with. My leg and my side and my back pain. So now do I have 2 problems? Do I have Rocky Mountain spotted fever and this chronic back and leg pain? And I'm going to add another element to the mystery, okay? I've never in my life had leg pain in my right leg. My sciatic nerves in my left leg that I've had twice in my life in 57 years, twice, okay? Now all of a sudden I got it in my right leg, so it doesn't make sense. I'm going to look into the magnesium, though. That's interesting. Put it up my nose. Yeah, okay. Well, just say because it's just funny how it says take by mouth, you know? I just thought that was kind of funny. You know, cellulitis. That's interesting. So yeah, so I mean, that's why I went to my primary care doctor on Monday, and then of course yesterday I went to my. I'm itchy tonight. I went to my dermatologist yesterday, and like I said, they took the biopsies from me. I never expected that. I really did not expect to get cut open yesterday and pieces of me taken and then stitches. I got to go back next Tuesday and have the stitches taken out. So, did I tell everybody tomorrow what's going on? So here's the story. This is big. To me, it's big. Kind of exciting. I am excited. Jeff, you look very happy about evicting somebody. You're a jerk. You like evicting people, right? That's what I'm going to get from the trolls, right? Absolutely. Tomorrow, we got my second in 25 years, the second time we're going with a constable and the police and a moving truck, and we're moving somebody out of their apartment. Isn't that cool? And I'm going to videotape the whole thing. I'm going to try to go live, but I may not be, with the police and stuff like that. But I already told, so my staff say, the office staff, like, oh, we never saw that. Guys, come. Really? Absolutely. Heather, Lisa, Jasmine. I told Tim, everyone, come. See what goes on in this business. See how the tenants act. See what goes on. I invited my office staff to be there. What's funny about the inversion table? My mother has one in Florida, and I tried it when I was there Saturday night. I sat on the inversion, and I went upside down on it. And, I guess I just didn't, I only did it for 15 minutes, and I didn't do it for multiple days. But you know what? I felt where it could really help because, yes, it stretches you. Oh, yes, great idea. And I did try one on Saturday night. My mother's had aches and pains. Look, I got my mother's genes, okay? Aches and pains all over, all the time. But my mother's also 88, plays golf every day, very active. So I guess with being active, being 88, being strong, being healthy, I guess you're going to have the aches and pains, right, that my mother has at 88. So, she does. She plays golf every day. She's out there, and So yeah, so she has an inversion table. And she loves it, she loves it. So it's just funny, right? Because you think, oh, an 88-year-old, but she loves it. She goes on the inversion table. In fact, so my parents weren't around when I went on it for the first time. I went on it and I didn't balance it and I flipped back and I couldn't flip myself back. So I ended up having to roll off of it. Anyway, so moving a tenant out, I did it once before, about 12 years ago, and it was expensive. And at that time, it was a little stressful. Now it's not stressful. If you can tell, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'll tell you why I'm looking forward to it. Here's the difference today and 12 years ago. TikTok, social media. I got 379 other tenants that will see I don't put up with fucking bullshit, okay? This asshole, let me tell you what this asshole did. So I inherited him. He's one of the ones it's always the ones I inherit. Bought the property. He was in there, right? Rent $600 a month, should be $1,000 a month, okay? He's in the apartment. The month I bought the property, he stopped paying his rent, right? Fine, stops paying. Now we find out he moves the girlfriend in. The girlfriend's living there, right? Ask him, pay your rent, non-payment of rent. So now we take him to court. The cocky guy, so he tells the judge, Your Honor, I applied for rent relief. So the judge did the right thing in that case. Okay, let's continue this 2 weeks, because if he did apply for rent relief and he is going to get the rent relief and that's going to pay his back rent, hey, no harm, no foul. I'll take the rent relief. No harm, no foul. Is he a good tenant? No. Is he a good person? No. But I'll take the rent relief because now he's current on his rent, right? So I kind of have to take the rent relief whether I want to or not. We go back 2 weeks later. He never applied for rent relief. He's a liar. So we get the judgment for the eviction. But we tell him, look, if you apply for the rent relief, then that buys you time to stay. No, not applying. And so now we ask the girlfriend, do you work? Nope, I don't work. Now, this was only like 3 weeks ago. I don't work. So Andrew dealt with the whole thing. He did a great job dealing with it because it's a pain in the ass, When you deal with a tenant that doesn't want to pay their rent, doesn't want to make an effort, doesn't want to work, doesn't want to do anything, what do you do? At that point, it's okay. Well, all bets are off. We just have to count the days till you're out. So anyway, I went to court 2 weeks ago, got the eviction, got the actual judgment. What did I say 2 weeks ago? We have to wait 5 days for them to either appeal it or not. If they don't appeal it, then we get the actual execution. We get the judgment. I have to wait 5 days to get the execution. We get the execution. We give it to our constable. Our constable then goes over and says, hey, look, we have an execution. You need to move out. How long do you need to move? No, we don't have to be Mr. Nice Guy. We could have the moving truck go that day. Nope, we want to be Mr. Nice Guy, which I have no problem with that. We want to be fair. How long do you need to move? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. What do you need? I'm not moving. F you. Get off my property. Get out of my house. I'm not moving. They slammed the door in his face. So that right there is reason number one where I'm excited about tomorrow, right? I'm not moving. Oh, yeah? So that's number one. Number two is didn't make any effort to pay. Number two. Girlfriend lives there, no effort to pay. Bum. Number three, right? Yesterday, they went. The constable went there to give him another opportunity to move out. What's he do? He took parts of our staircase and blockaded the door to outside. That door leads to 3 apartments. He blocked that door so my constable couldn't get in. Of course, we have another entrance. That shows you how many brains this guy has. So he just went in the other entrance. But that was number 4. So that's why we scheduled a moving company for tomorrow. The constable will go there. He will call the police to keep the peace. The police will not get involved unless the guy gets violent or whatever. Keep the peace. And we will physically move the guy's belongings out into a moving truck. What I typically do is I ask the constable, ask the people to leave the apartment, because what they'll do now is they'll start gathering all their expensive, really nice stuff, and they'll throw it in their car and say, screw it to the rest of the stuff. So I don't let them get away with that. So tomorrow at 9 o'clock is the time, and second time in the time I've been a landlord, so all the people thinking I like to evict, I do not like to evict people. I don't like spending the money on the constable on the moving truck. But getting back to TikTok and why this is good. Example, this shows my other tenants I'm not putting up with it, okay? This is how we do it. We're by the book. We gave this guy plenty of chances. Move the girlfriend in. So this way it shows the other tenants that, look, you work with me, I'll work with you. You want to be difficult with me? I'm going to be difficult with you. So that's what's going on tomorrow. So that should be interesting. So in the summer, real chulo. In the summer, I obviously get natural exercise because I'm out and about with the kids, playing soccer, swimming, doing my thing, out and about. The winter, you're right. You do naturally get less exercise. I do have the treadmill upstairs. That's the clothes hanger that has the moving belt on it. I have that upstairs that I use once in a while. But I eat healthy. I do eat healthy. I've lost a lot of weight, with the diabetes too. I've lost weight. My sugar level's down, which is a great thing. So that's what I'm saying. That's what's frustrating, right? So for years now, my doctor said, "Oh, your sugar level's going up. Your A1C is going up. You're gonna have to go on insulin." Blah blah. I finally got that under control, where I didn't have to go on insulin, and I brought my A1C down. Got that under control, and now I got leg pain. Now I got Rocky Mountain spotted fever, right? So I can't win, right? I fight one battle, win one battle, and then I lose another battle, So, hey, Heather Ann, you are actually excited that you got to see this? All right, well, I'm glad you're excited that you get to see this. What exactly, Heather Ann, are you excited about? I'm just curious. So what happened was my staff today, when I stopped in the office very quickly this afternoon. I've been stopping in just for a few minutes. And so I said to them, they were asking me about it. I said, look, if you guys want to come, we can. So Andrew said, they were talking about that this morning. I said, absolutely. I want my staff to see, what it's like, not to take pleasure in it like I am, but so they know the consequences, so they can explain it to tenants. Look, if he evicts you, if you get evicted, this is what happens. I want my staff to know it's more for the consequences. I'm taking pleasure in it because you know what? I don't like the fact this guy was rude to my staff. He treated Andrew badly. He treated myself. There's no reason to get that way. When you cross that line, then okay, we want you out, and we're gonna make. And if I'm gonna spend the money, like somebody said, it's expensive. If I'm gonna spend the money to have a moving company come pay the constable, I'm gonna get my money's worth. I told my staff, everyone run video. I want all the tapes, run all the videos. We'll clip it all together. So I have nice TikToks. I have nice YouTube videos. We're gonna make it worth the while to show people what the consequences are, and what happens when you don't move and you treat your landlord badly. So that's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing that tomorrow. Look, I'm not going to deny. I'm thrilled that this is happening tomorrow. It's a great example setter for a lot of people. It's good to show you folks how we handle it, and how it happens. And I'm not. And again, this guy deserves it. So Rocky Mountain, so here's the problem with that, Thomas. We're talking about Rocky Mountain spotted fever. When I got diagnosed with it yesterday, I'm thinking to myself, well, that makes sense. That's why my legs and my joints have been hurting for 2 weeks. Maybe I've had it longer than 2 weeks. But if that's the case, that means I got it in Rhode Island, right? So everyone's thinking, no, you got it in Florida last week, and it has nothing to do with your leg hurting. It's just one more problem. So I don't know. I don't know. It sucks not knowing, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I got it last week in Florida, and it incubated in a few days. And because I had a little rash on Sunday morning, and then of course from that it just blew up and got out of control. So that's the story with that, So I got to tell you though, there's a benefit. My wife was not happy. See, I was supposed to come home Saturday morning, and I decided to stay 2 extra days, and that didn't go over very well. So someone was unhappy with me. But then, of course, I got this problem now, so that kind of went away. Good thing she doesn't watch my TikToks. Anyway, so I had a great time in Florida, though. Putting the pain aside, I went down to Florida, right? So I went to visit Bob Marzilli, Dr. Marzilli, a good friend of mine. He has a nice place in a place called Heritage Bay in Naples. So I visited him for 5 days. I did TikToks from there. I don't golf, but he does, and he lives on a beautiful golf course. So I did my TikToks from there. And we had a great time. We did a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff. First day, of course, I had to do business. I had to send back that title and deed for that house I sold, which was interesting. But that taught me something, too, that I can travel and be away and still sell a house. But anyway, so we did that, and I I got to go to the casino, which was kind of nice. Won $230. He and I chipped in, and I played, and we won $230. So that was fun. It's always nice. It's always nice to win, right? Don't want to lose. So, so I did a lot. Went to the Tom Petty concert Friday night. So I don't know if anyone saw the TikTok on that. So down in Punta Gorda is that Military Heritage Museum with a beautiful theater. I did the TikTok on it. Beautiful theater. And 2 years ago, just before COVID, my audiovisual company installed the lighting and sound system in that theater. I had never seen it finished. So I figured, hey, I'm down there Friday night. We went there. It was a Tom Petty tribute band. And the Broken Hearts. And I gotta tell you, they were excellent. And it was kind of funny because after the concert, I was standing in front of the stage doing a TikTok saying, hey, I came all the way from Rhode Island to see this band. And who knew the lead singer heard me say that? He says, oh, I'm from Rhode Island. He was born in Warwick and raised in Cumberland. And his family then moved to Tampa and he formed this Tom Petty tribute band. And they were excellent. They were very good. It was a great concert. I really enjoyed it. So that was Friday night. The Tom Petty tribute. I loved Tom Petty. So that was really a cool thing to go to Friday night. You know, I mean, I did see Tom Petty live at the Providence Civic Center once. Themine Vitamins, B100. Yeah, I appreciate. You know what's great? I record my TikTok lives with the questions so I can go back and watch them later. But that's great to know. All right, so read carefully. Body needs thiamine, vitamin B1. Okay, good. All right, Mike wants to when I'm going to stop buying, investing in units. You know, that's a good question. I thought I was done a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, I got kind of motivated and started buying again. Right now I'm at 380. I guess with the 50 that I'm getting with the nursing home, that's going to be 430. 500 might be my peak. I think at 500, I get to 500, there's no reason to buy anymore. 500, no. In fact, if I get to 500, I'll start selling off some of the smaller units, the twos, threes, fours, and stay with a couple of the big ones. And that would be part of maybe my retirement plan. But it all depends. And the reason why things keep changing for me is because I'm so lucky that I have the young generation working for me, running the businesses. And like if Andrew decides, or we decide that we want to expand, one of the things we talked about is managing other people's properties. So that's a whole different story. That's a whole different division, whole different business that we may start. People are asking us, and I don't feel comfortable doing it until I know that we have enough staff. We talked about it. Till we have enough staff, enough people that can do it. So that's the story with that. You know, you're right, Thomas. Florida, you know, so Rocky Mountain. So if you do the research on it, right? Because I did the research when they told me about it. I was like, what the frig? I guess the disease was discovered in the Rocky Mountains. That's why they call it Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Now, for me, I think there's more chance of it being in Florida, right, in a warmer climate, than it is in Rhode Island, right? But yeah, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? It's crazy. I tell you, I get these weird problems. Look, I didn't know. You know, my wife looked at my back. So my back right now, when I touch my back, it's all bumpy. It feels like sandpaper, and it's all red. Well, I didn't know it was red. She told me it was red because I don't really look at my back that much. So. What's the loan to value for my whole portfolio? You know, that's a good question. 50-50 maybe, 50% maybe. Because I do have some properties that are paid off, and I put a lot of money down. Maybe 40. That's a good question. You know, the not counting the businesses, the real estate portfolio. You know, I would say it's up there. You know, it's well, let's put it this way: I have 380 units. If you say each unit's worth $100,000, you can do the math on that for the property. But again, I do have mortgages on it, so you know, and that's why I don't want to speculate because it's only worth what people are willing to pay for it, right? So, but I would say it's reasonable to say $100,000 per unit. That way, people can guess what my portfolio gross is worth. Of course, then I have mortgages on it. You know, yeah, I do live near Lyme, Connecticut. You're right. Oh, that's funny. Oh, boy. So Lyme, Connecticut, you know what's funny? So I'm a Sennheiser dealer. Sennheiser, microphones, headphones, you know, all that stuff. So I'm saying, and they're in Lyme, Connecticut. So we drive down there to pick up some of the, sometimes if we're in a hurry to pick up some microphones or if we have a big deal, we'll go to Lyme to pick them up. But they're in Lyme, Connecticut. They're East Coast office. They're also in Chicago, too. Just a little tidbit of information. All right, what else we got? You got a court date in May for your sister since her 30 days is up and she won't leave. Well, that's great. You got the court. Listen, the way I look at it is, once you get a court date, and I know it's frustrating because I've gone through it, and you know, I'm getting thicker skin the older I get, not thinner. And it's the reason I say that is because it used to frustrate me so bad when people didn't pay and they're living there for free. But once you get the court date, the clock is ticking. You know the end is near. That's why, like tomorrow, this guy here. So I tell the tenants, look, you hear me. I'm straightforward. Hey, look, tenant, I know today is May 2nd, it's April 2nd, and we have a court day on May 3rd, right? It's over a month away, right? But that 31 days is going to go by quick. We're going to be in court in 31 days. Don't you? And I have my staff remind them every day, hey, do you have the money for us? Only 28 days, 25 days. So, yeah, do I remind them? Because what happens is a lot of people that owe money, out of sight, out of mind. If the bill collector stops calling, oh, good, I don't owe it anymore, right? That's what they think. It's a mindset. Oh, the bill collector didn't call me. Oh, good. Well, I'm not like that. I'm relentless. Call them once a day. We legally can call them once a day, Where's the money? You're going to pay us? And that reminds them that we're still out there. By the way, we have court next week. Now, this guy here is so adamant, I'm not going to get kicked out. I applied for rent relief. I'm not. Well, first of all, he didn't apply for rent relief. And at this point, even if he did, it's too late. I already got the execution. So that's the problem. Too little too late for this guy. Now, tomorrow, he's going to tell the constable, in fact, I hope I get it on tape, I can't find an apartment. And that's when I'm going to use my favorite line. Yes, free apartments are hard to find these days because he's only paying $0 now. So I'll be able to use my favorite line. Free apartments are hard to find. Oh, okay, yeah, to eat dinner. I don't blame you for going to eat dinner. That's good. I'm glad you're back. And by the way, I want to remind you, if you missed anything or if you felt like you missed something, later on I'll put it on my TikTok. I'll put it on my YouTube channel, Jeff Never Had Job Security. I did put Sundays from Florida on there. Actually, I was lucky. I got that on Sunday night. So same thing tonight. When I finish, it takes like 5 minutes for my iPad to do its thing. And then I try to upload it as quick as possible. So, not all my property managers have a real estate license. Andrew happens to have a real estate license, but my property managers don't have to have a real estate license to be property managers for me. Really, they just have a good temperament, good people persons, and both of them, they are. My property managers are great. Don't have to have a real estate license, but yeah, like I said, Andrew happens to have one. Yeah, so I do. They're all on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, on my YouTube, Jeff Never Had Job Security, every live that I've ever done is on there. And of course, they're 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And so, again, and by the way, Kalisotari, or Dan, I hope I'm saying that right. Don't watch them too long at work because my TikToks are also a sleep aid. And I always suggest people to watch them at night, and they help you go to sleep at night. Because they're boring. So, but yeah, so don't watch them too long at work. You might fall asleep at work, so. Yeah. So if you miss my lives, you can watch them right from my YouTube channel. I put all the lives on YouTube, every single one. And I just started adding some old videos. I shoot videos for everything. I record video for everything I do. I'm always recording video for this and that. So besides TikTok, right? But I did start putting some stuff on YouTube, some older videos that I've done, some other videos I've done in the past, some shows, conferences, concerts, whatever. I've put those on my YouTube channel too, just in case anybody's interested. But of course, all my TikToks are on there. You listen to a lot of boring stuff at work. I got to keep my mind engaged in, well, if that's the case, you don't want to watch my videos. I'm kidding. Yeah, listen, some of the stuff is, obviously valuable information. I want to share it. How's the 39-unit building going, Mike? It's going good, actually. It's going great. I think we have 2 units left on the first floor to rent. So what happened was this. We just didn't, open up the doors. Hey, rent the apartments. We've gone through each apartment, cleaned it up, renovated it, made them really nice, inviting to the tenants, right? So the whole first floor, I think, is rented except for 2 apartments, I believe. The second floor, we cannot rent until we finish the deck. But we're right on schedule. The deck is all torn down, ready for the rebuild. We're just waiting for the architects to give me the plans so we can get the building. Well, he's actually going to do all the plans and apply for the permits for me. And then we're going to build it. We're going to finish it, get those apartments rented. Now, the outside of the building is not pretty. It has all those temporary supports on the deck and all that stuff, so it's not pretty. The tenants are actually dealing with a not pretty outside. The inside's nice for them to live in, but the outside's not pretty. Obviously, from my point of view, investor's point of view, I need to get the structural work done, the aesthetic work done, and then we can start working on the outside of the building, painting the building, removing those temporary supports, the landscaping, the parking lot, and that building is going to be a showpiece, and that's what I'm excited about. Yeah, I think a couple of people from upstairs moved downstairs. I didn't do the lease. I know of at least two people moved downstairs, and a couple of people that live downstairs moved back in. So at least four, at least I know of. No, I don't listen to Andy Frisella. Who is Andy Frisella? And tell me about him. I'd like to know. Oh, good question about the front load dumpsters. Are you going to get front load dumpsters? So when I started the business as a front load dumpster business. So I bought 150 front load dumpsters, bought 2 trucks. And I learned quickly that the reason why people do front load dumpsters is it's cheaper labor for the business to hire one person to do the front load dumpsters. So that's why these companies, Waste Management, use front load dumpsters. Though they still do rear load, Republic still does rear load, the larger companies do rear load, Waste Connect does rear load. Those are 3 large companies. But they only did it because it's cheaper for labor. They can get cheaper labor, have less labor, but the trucks break down all the time. The front load trucks are a maintenance nightmare. When M&M went out of business and I bought all their assets at the auction, they were rear load trucks. I got 600 rear load dumpsters. So instead of me buying more front load dumpsters, which were really expensive with the steel prices, I said, I'm going to start using the M&M rear load trucks and rear load dumpsters. And I have found the rear load trucks hardly ever break down, which is great for me, right? Less breakage. The drivers are experienced and they're good, so I'm not worried about that. And I give them a helper, so that's fine. My labor cost is a little bit more, but my breakage is a lot less. So what we decided to do is stay with rear loads right now. Newer ones, newer rear load trucks. We're repairing and painting all the rear load dumpsters, because they get rotted out over time. So we're remodeling them, if that's what we call refurbishing them. And so we're going to stay with rear load right now because it's working out very well for us. And from a customer's point of view, because I've been both rear load and front load customer, I don't care as long as the price stays the same, right? I'm not going to charge more for rear load. But yeah, so that's to answer that question. We're going to stay rear load. I probably should have started as rear load to begin with, but I thought the front load was the way to go. But the trucks are more expensive to repair and they break down more. So the front load does not work for me. All right, so dumpsters. So roll-off construction dumpsters, I own about 200 of those. The front load dumpsters, I own 150. And the rear load dumpsters, now I own about 800 rear load dumpsters. And then you have toters. A lot of customers use the plastic toters that you use, that you roll out, household toters that you roll out to the street. So we have probably 500 of those as well. Oh, good question, Real. So the tenants that move back in, keep month to month, really it should be only 90 days. At that point, if they want to sign a 1-year lease, I prefer a 1-year lease. My mortgage companies prefer a 1-year lease. So I keep them month to month for 90 days, only because I don't know them. I've talked about that. I want to get to know the tenant, especially a tenant that I inherited. But if they've paid their rent on time for the 3 months and they're a good tenant and everything's going well, then I'd rather sign a 1-year lease. That way I know they're not moving anywhere. I prefer 1-year leases, as long, just so everyone understands that. I prefer, long-term leases. Let's see. Well, I don't try to do things on a big scale. Sometimes it just happens that way. When we bought M&M, it happened to be 800 dumpsters that I bought at the auction, and all their trucks too. We have 14 trucks now. again, because we're switching or becoming just a rear load company, I can sell off now the 2 front load or 3 front load trucks I have and the 150 front load dumpsters. And that will be good. And I'll use that money to keep repairing and remodeling, refurbishing the rear load dumpsters, paint them black, put our name on them. And but I'm really happy. The business is starting to make a profit, which is great news. It's really moving forward. It took a while. And I know what people say, well, you're not supposed to make money in the first 3 years. Well, I don't believe in that. You're supposed to make money when you work hard. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, around 1,500 total. Yeah, I would say about 1,500 total dumpsters. I do. So Chicken Bucket, good question. So commercial leases, in fact, I just signed one today, 5 years. Commercial leases, I try to do 5-year leases. If a tenant wants to sign a residential 5-year lease, absolutely, I'll sign a 5-year lease. And I have one tenant now that's under an 8-year lease. And it's good for them because obviously they know their rent's going to be fixed for that long. It may have some incremental increases that we work into the lease to cover expenses that we know are going to go up. But no, I love long-term leases. If a tenant wants to sign a long-term lease with me, that's fine. And by the way, and then I know they're there, so I'm protected. They know they have a safe place to live. And at the same time, that a lot of tenants that are long-term tenants, they make the house their home. They make the apartment, so they'll decorate it, fix up the last week, and they paint it and make it a little more personal for them. And I will. If they have a long-term lease like that, then they're in it for the long haul. If you work a full-time job and you're looking for another business, it's hard when you have a full-time job to have, So that's what happened with me. I mean, when I was teaching full-time, I was also running my audiovisual business. At that time, it was a sound business and my DJ business at night on the weekends. At one point, it became where I was doing 2 40-hour-a-week jobs, and I had to make a decision in 1993, and that's what I did, And, of course, I leaned toward the audiovisual. But yeah, at some point, if you have a part-time business that starts to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, now all of a sudden you're stuck where you have to make a decision. Which, is a great place to be in. You've started a business, you built a business, and when you get to make the decision whether you want to continue with that. Tell me if I'm hot or cold your net worth. Real estate, 15 to 20 million. Business, 5 to 10 million. Yeah, I would say you're close. That's reasonable to think. I've never actually figured out my net. Andrew has because we need to for the banks when I borrow money. But yeah, I mean, I would say the business is you're right on the money. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But again, as you can see, I don't look at it that way. And what's interesting is I talked about it early in this live. It eked up on me. I just kept buying property, kept opening business, kept buying, and it snuck up on me where all of a sudden I had all this property, where I had all these properties that once you do the math, okay, yeah, all right. If I sold it all, would I have some money in my pocket? Yeah, okay, not a ton because I have mortgages, but the goal is right now, my 5-year plan is hopefully the flip houses. See, I made a lot of money with the flip houses. That's where I made a lot of my money. And that's why I was able to buy a lot of rental properties with a lot of money down. The flip houses is where the money was at. So that money I would use as my down payments to buy the rental properties. I hope the flip houses start again because then that profit I can use to pay off my multis and then my net worth will go up, obviously. Every time I sell a flip house, even if it's 40 grand, 50 grand, right? 50 on top of a mortgage, right? Before you know it, you got a couple properties paid off. That's the goal. That's the secret. That's the goal. It's tough to do, obviously, but it's very tough to do right now because there are no flip houses. Yeah, so the only time I will raise rent is if there's an increase in the expenses to manage that particular piece of property. So I'm not going to, if property A's taxes go up, I'm not going to raise property B's rent. It's all about property A. Property A, if the property tax went up, the insurance went up, the utilities went up, then obviously I am forced to raise the rent. Now people say, how high do you raise it? Well, I always try to keep the rent below market on the rents. I want to be competitive. I also want to make it so I'm making a profit. I'm not losing money on the property. So that's where the fine line is. And people say, well, you charge too much for rent. Well, if I charged too much for rent, I would have empty apartments. I don't have empty apartments because I charge too much for rent, right? It's supply and demand. I see these places that charge $2,500, $3,000 for rent. Oh, now leasing. They have a bunch of empty places. Well, yeah, because you're charging so much. I'd rather have my place. I'd rather have the cash flow. I'd rather have people living in my places paying rent. I think the real estate market's going to correct itself. I think it's going to be another year, but it all depends on the government stopping helping the banks, stopping helping the renters. Got to get people back to work, and also what's going to happen is the banks will eventually stop the mortgage moratorium. Right, they're going to start collecting mortgages again, or stop foreclosure on the people that can't pay their mortgages. That will force the properties onto the market in the auctions and foreclosures, and that's when the real estate market will not crash, but I think it will correct itself. I don't think it will be a crash because I think it's going to be a slow process when the properties come on the market. So yeah, so it's like $3,000 a month for an apartment. Somebody was telling me, and of course, it's all the area. Boston, you're going to pay $3,000 a market. New York City, $4,000 a month for rent. Where you are for the $475, I don't know where you are. It depends on the market. Depends on the size of the apartment. I know you say you have a 2-bedroom. Is it a huge 2-bedroom? Is it a small 2-bedroom? Do you have parking? I mean, you have to look at all. Do you pay your own utilities? So you got to look at the variables, okay? And that's why throughout the country, there's so many different amounts of rent that's being charged, but there's a lot of variables. Yes, I know. When I was in Florida last week, there is nothing available, zero. I looked at every single real estate site that I know of, and I couldn't find any. I was looking for multis, obviously. I couldn't find it. There was a couple. There was a portfolio, but no, they're asking, because supply and demand, they're asking double what it's worth. So that's the problem right now, because of the supply and demand. Everyone's asking double, $325 is the average rent in rural Ohio. All right. Now, again, what's the cost of living there? Income structure and this and that. I mean, $325 is that's low, I think, anywhere, right? $325, that's low anywhere. Is that a closet? Is it a 1-bedroom, a 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, You pay $1,100, okay? $1,100 sounds like a reasonable rent, but again, I don't know how big your apartment is. It's amazing around the country the different amounts of rent that's charged in different areas. But not even around the country, in different, like even here in Rhode Island, right? So in Providence, Cranston, Warwick, right, near the city, rents are going to be higher. Situate, they're going to be a little lower. South Kingston, West Kingston might be a little lower. But then you get down to Westerly, they go high again. So it's interesting, Florida market is unbelievable. I saw the rental prices last week. It's unbelievable. Yeah, chicken bucket. So same thing. Yeah, so in Minnesota. So it's just crazy. Yeah, all right, chicken bucket. 3 bedrooms. There's 4 stop signs in the town and no red lights. I love that. That's great. That's funny. What are the average years of the houses I buy? Well, how old you mean in the multifamily? I mean, the houses I buy at the auctions, some have been built 60 years ago, 80 years ago. I sold that farmhouse last week in North Kingston. That was an old stone foundation. That was built in probably 1920. But when we get done remodeling it, it's all new, right? New plumbing, new electrical. It's all up to date. New fire codes, fire devices. So it's all up to date. So for me, it doesn't matter the age of the property. My very first property I bought, the 10 units there on the water in Cranston, that was built in 1760, before the revolution, So, frankly, so you consider yourself retired? No, I'm absolutely not retired. Far from it. I'm thinking retirement now, which is, I can't believe it in my life. For the first time I'm thinking, okay, but it's a 5-year plan. When am I going to retire? That's what I'm thinking. When am I going to retire? And I'm planning for that. But no, I'm not retired at all. I still run 4 businesses, and even though I'm homesick and working from my home office, the businesses are going strong. More cows. I'd like to visit you, you know. Do you ever go cow tipping? That's funny. You know, chicken bucket. More cows than people. That is so funny. But, you know, I'd love to visit like a town like that. Really. I mean, going out west in the real rural towns, I think that's so cool, you know. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like a one-room schoolhouse. Oh, that's neat. Size of Minneapolis, only 1,300 people. Wow, 1,300 people. That's not a lot of people at all. I mean, you know everybody, right? You know your neighbor. They say, "Oh, we're out over a small place." No, that's a small place. You know your neighbor. You know everything about your neighbor. You know that's great. Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. So people that grew up in a rural life and that's their lifestyle and love it, right? You're not dealing with the big city crap. You're not dealing with the traffic. You're not dealing with the aggravation. There's a lot of positives to being less stress, I think, you know. What did the ER? So I went to my specialist, my dermatologist. And what they did was they gave me this medication that I'm on. I can't say it, cycline. That's what I'm on right now, which is treating the Rocky Mountain spotted fever and the rash. So that's what I'm on now. 86 people related to 74. That's great. That's good. See, now, of course, all kinds of jokes are coming in my mind, but I don't want to insult anybody. Yeah, great. That is so funny. 86 people, and so that means when a lot of nepotism, right? You can hire the cousins work for the city, the towns, the police, the sheriff. That's the kind of town I'd want to own property in, right? And be your best friend. That's great. Oh, you're funny. That is so funny. 86 people related to 74 of them. By marriage. Oh boy. But anyway, yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to try to do it live. If not, I'm going to record it. So I told my staff today, look, make sure you all have your phones with you. Let's videotape it from different angles. I'll put it all together. Well, this will be great. A multi-camera shoot of this eviction, tomorrow's live eviction at 9 a.m. I'm glad I did the live tonight. I wasn't going to do my live tonight, but I'm glad I did. I know I came on a little early and I did it unannounced. I didn't schedule it tonight, so I know, that's why. But I'm really happy you guys came on. Oh, there you go. Your grandpa was the sheriff and your uncle's the interim sheriff. That's fantastic. It's like Blue Bloods. Just like Blue Bloods. But I appreciate you guys. What was wrong with my leg at the end? I just watched part 1. Well, you got to watch part 2 to see what was wrong with my leg. Now I don't know what was wrong with my leg. I thought it was the Rocky Mountain, whatever the hell I have, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I thought it was that, but now since I got this in Florida, maybe my leg started before Florida. So Mayberry seems big compared to us. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that you got a Barney Fife there because it's your relatives. So, no, they're not clots. All I got is this rash everywhere. It's a little itchy tonight, I noticed. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm talking about it. But I hope it starts going away. So I've been taking the medication, as you saw. I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll actually see some progress in it. I feel like it went off my hand. My hand was full of blotches last night, and it doesn't seem like it's as bad as it was, But anyway, so you do have a Barney Fife. He's not related. Oh, he's one of the 12 people not related. Oh, yeah, okay. Use aloe vera. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I didn't announce my live tonight. I just kind of went on tonight, figuring, let me throw the live out there. I can talk about the eviction tomorrow. I can talk about my Rocky Mountain spotted fever, my leg. Of course, people are probably sick of hearing about my leg. But it was nice. So we did talk about some evictions tonight and stuff. So I'm from Rhode Island. He's asking me if I'm New York. I'm from Rhode Island. You find them when they're not announced. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't announce it tonight. I threw it out there, but I did schedule like the one on Sunday. And I will schedule one for this coming Sunday. Well, no, Sunday's Easter. I'll have to figure out when I'm going to do it. Maybe Saturday night. Maybe Saturday night I can do it. Because Sunday's Easter. 9 o'clock tomorrow is the eviction. Celtics or Nets? Good question. Celtics or Nets? I mean, I could say Celtics because it's Boston and I'm in New England. But I could say Nets because I really want to see the Nets win. That is a Sophie's choice, right? You know that question of Sophie's choice where either one's the right answer, but I guess the Celtics. Hey, that's me. I know that's you. Hi. Yes, it does. Easter marks the day before the tax man comes, 15th, Monday. Ugh, thanks for reminding me. Actually, most of my taxes were due last month on the 15th because business taxes are due on March 15th. Personal taxes are due on April 15th. So just a little tidbit of information for people that don't own businesses. That's funny. But anyway, so I'm going to get going because I told my wife I would watch TV with her at 9 o'clock tonight, and I did start at 7. So I appreciate everybody coming on. I am going to put this on my YouTube channel tonight because I always record them. Anybody who just came on, if you missed it, you just came on. It is on my YouTube channel, Jeff Never Had Job Security, How Creative, tonight. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing that eviction. I'll do some TikToks for that tomorrow, which should be interesting. And I will do a live this weekend, probably Saturday. And yeah, I'm going to try to do it live tomorrow. I'm actually going to try to do a live TikTok tomorrow. And I'll also do some recorded ones too, in case the live doesn't go. But yeah, try to watch it tomorrow. That'll be great. Chicken bucket. Yeah, I would look good with a white collar for Good Friday. Yeah, you're right. I don't act that way though. But anyway, so I appreciate everybody again coming on tonight at the last minute and joining me for TikTok. And I'll see you guys.